Schedule a Zoom with me at GCExperts.com/Zoom.
So I got two contractors that looked at this job and they won't bid it because they don't have enough information. Both of them said the same thing. They keep on, they're just like, oh, I got this question or that question. They want to get on site. Can't do any of that. So I think that I just turned this thing down because.
Okay, how much did you turn it in for?
$51,000.
And what's the general scope?
Hook up a generator, transfer switch, and then you got an automatic transfer switch. Hook up a 200 amp panel, and then it feeds two greenhouses, separate directions. One's 150 feet away, and the other's like 75.
Listen, this is how I generally handle that. And look, I wasn't part of the conversation, so just hear me out.
Yep.
Generally speaking, when somebody tells me, oh, no, I need to go out to the site, what I respond is, suppose you did go out to the site. Tell me the two different conditions that would dramatically change what your price would be. Well, okay, condition A and condition B. Well, suppose it was condition B. How much more would that be? Suppose we just agree ahead of time that option B is included, and that's an additional $5,000 or whatever that number is. What I'm trying to do is just get the guy, look, you've been in this business for, how long you been in this business? 20 years. In 20 years, you can't kind of visualize what this thing is. Like, you're so scared. Like, I'm not asking you to hold you to this thing. I'm just trying to get a price off the cuff. Something that if I called you up and said, hey, man, we got the job, that we'd be close enough to negotiate something that would make sense. I'm not asking you to put it in writing right now. I'm just asking for a number out of your head.
Got it.
Take the pressure off the guys. And I'm not saying you have to do that in this particular situation. I'm just, trying to give you some perspective.
Yeah, I was trying to be a little loose with him, and he did. And I'm an electrician, and I read the scope of work, and you got to read exactly what they're saying. It's quite wordy, and it's not in, electrician speak. And then it's, you're trying to visualize what they're talking about, and that guy didn't, or these guys didn't read that detail. They're just used to going out to the job site and seeing what he's like, oh, I don't know if this is going to meet code or that's going to meet code. And I was like, all right. And I could just tell that he didn't want to give a price. It's the last guy I just talked to. So, I got one more guy that I'm going to push. I got a little bit of time. I don't need to necessarily respond back to this guy, to this, contracting officer.
How much in material do you expect just based on your experience?
Just in material?
Yeah.
$10,000 maybe.
Well, I mean, 3 times the material to install would put you at 40. I mean,
yeah, $10,000's probably a little on the high side. You probably got 2,000 in wire, and then you got a couple of panels and some breakers and stuff.
How long is it going to take to do the work?
10 days, 10 working days.
All right, let's look at it from that perspective. How much is what area of the country is this?
Columbus, Ohio. So they're $70 an hour, all in.
Okay, and what do you think? 2 guys for 10 days?
Yeah, probably 3 guys. You got a 150-foot pole there.
Okay, 3 guys. 300 times 8, 2,400 times 10 is 25,000, 35,000. Huh. Columbus, Ohio is a huge fucking city. There ought to be a dozen electrical guys.
Yeah, we're 45 minutes north. Just in short order, a lot of them are residential. I'm calling guys. They're not. I've called probably a half a dozen people, and I've only gotten 3 to
Call
take
the
a look at
electrical
this.
supply house.
Okay. The other thing is I'm thinking that I have like 24 hours to respond to this awarded contract. But I probably have a little bit more time.
Fuck, dude, it's the holidays, man. You could just as well be sitting out, with me in the backyard making a fire and drinking beer this time of year. You know what I mean?
Okay, so there's no rush.
I wouldn't say there's a rush, but I would definitely, look, I'm just giving you some ideas. You can throw this thing away if you want to, but for $15,000 profit, I'd be willing to put a couple more hours of phone calls in.
Oh yeah. I'm a little bitten on the last job, and I'm nervous I don't want to take another spanking here of 10 grand. But I said, I was talking to my buddy who's a project foreman, and he's like, "You're pretty good on your numbers." I was figuring about 35. And he says, "There's some things that I don't know. Maybe I put a little buffer in there. So even if it was 100% of my contract at 50 grand, I could find somebody." I think I'm going to come out whole. So, okay. I was just working on this time frame of 24 hours to respond back to this guy. So I have time. I'll continue to find another guy.
Yeah, I would think so. Today's Thursday, right? So yeah, today and tomorrow. Give him an answer at 3:00 tomorrow afternoon. See what you can accomplish.
Last question. I'm typically going for these guys. So she's electrical contractors. I called one guy, and they were like 400 electricians, big project management, lots of layers, things like that. And then on the opposite end of the coin, I'm contacting guys that are, one man in a truck. And I'm like, okay, that guy's too small. And the other guy's probably like, I don't want to say too big, but it's too many layers. It's too corporate for me. So I'm typically looking for guys that, got 10, 15 guys, maybe 20 guys, maybe 30 guys, something in that, like a medium-sized contractor. Did you avoid like really big guys, or?
I'll tell you a funny story. First of all, I never avoided anybody, but I'll tell you a funny story. In the workshop, you hear me say multiple times, I'm a national federal contractor. I do everything from wind tunnels, water treatment plants to kitchen renovations.
Yeah.
The reason I developed that part of the script was because sometimes I'd call some contractor somewhere and I wanted to grab their attention, because who the hell introduces themselves that way, right? It's like the big peacock, right? Strutting out my chest.
There you go. Okay.
Okay. So my dad gets this ATON job down in Tampa Bay, Florida, and he sends me down there. He wants me to see what this work is, put my eyes on it. And I'll never forget, what was the name of that company? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. The name of that company is escaping me right now, but let's just call it ABC Company. So I show up. Now listen, I'm national federal contractor. We got the contract. We're subcontracting a major portion of this job to this ABC company. I show up at their parking lot, and I park in the parking lot of a 9-story building. And on the side of the 9-story building is ABC Company. They own the whole building.
Yeah.
I walk in, my meeting with the guys is on the 7th floor in the conference room.
So you didn't avoid anybody, and just what you said there is, so I'm probably going into this with a little bit of the wrong mindset, because I'm sitting out here in a job trailer with mud up to my knees.
Yeah, but they don't know that. Nobody knows that.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, like, I'm just a lonely little guy sitting out here with my cell phone, and I'm calling this big contractor, and it's going to be, I not that I've talked to those guys every day. The contractor I work for is a gigantic contractor, but just thinking, like, hey, I'm just a small little guy here, but I shouldn't avoid those bigger guys. Those bigger guys actually can get the job done quicker. Like, they have the horsepower to do it.
Yeah.
They answer the phone to find somebody that can get it.
Look, every
Like
time they answer the phone, it's just an opportunity. And sometimes I just say that to guys. Look, this is an opportunity. Go out and do a little bit of work. Put your guys to work, right after the holiday or first of the year. And it's just a little something, something. If you're not interested, it's okay. I'll move on to the next guy. But listen, I would call the electrical supply house and ask them who would be, the best situated guys to handle something like this, because they're the guys. They talk. You've been in electrical supply houses. That's the rumor mill. It's the gossip counter. It's what are you working on? Fucking those guys know everybody.
Yep. You're right. Yep. I'm just Googling or not Googling. I'm just going off of Google Maps, and I've learned yesterday that not everybody pops up on Google Maps all the time.
Oh yeah, no, that's just a quick, easy tool to use. But we talk about multiple methodologies in the workshop that
yes.
On how to find the right guy. But in this particular case, particularly in that area, the supply house, I'd call 2 or 3 supply houses and just ask the guy at the counter, hey, in the last 3 weeks, who's the number one guy who's been coming in buying the most shit?
Okay, I'll find a guy.